We're looking at number 1. They want us to give each trig ratio as a fraction in the simplest form. So top we'll have the unsimplified area, and then we'll just have the simplified on the bottom. Alright, so first we have an unknown side. It is a leg. We can use the Pythagorean theorem. Why use trig when we use the Pythagorean theorem? Could be quicker. So we have it as 14 squared plus b squared equals 50 squared. 14 squared gives you 196. Ooh. Plus b squared equals 2500, I believe. Let me just check. Yeah, 2500. Then we subtract by 196. We get b squared is equal to 2304. Then you square root it. See if we get the exact answer. We do. So b is equal to 48. So right here, this would be our 48. Alright, so now that we know all the sides, we can just kind of do the unsimplified versions real quick. So we're doing the sine of q first. So from here, sine of q, we have the opposite, which would be 14 over 50. 14 over 50. The cosine of q, the adjacent, 48 over 50. And I already know that this is the hypotenuse for both of those. So then, for the tan of q would be 14 over 48. So again, these are just unsimplified before we get to this part. Oops, before we get to that part. So now, let's take a look at this. We're looking at the sine of r. So we start at r, so opposite would be 48 over 50. The cosine of r would be 14 over 50. Right away, look at this. Cosine of r is the same as sine as q, and cosine of q is the same as sine as r. Then the tan of r would be 48 over 14. Alright, so to simplify these, they're both even, so I can divide it by 2, you get 7 over 25, which is simplified. So this would be 7 over 25. Since sine of q is the same as cosine of r, we could say this is 7 over 25. Now we're looking at the cosine of q. 40 over 50 divided by 2, you get 24 over 25. So that would be simplified. 24 over 25. And since cosine of q is the same as sine of r, we can just do that. 24 over 25. Then lastly, we have the tan of q, 14, 48. So we would simplify by 2, we would get 7 over 24, which they don't simplify. And this one will be 24 over 7, because I believe 24 doesn't get divided by 7 now. So this would be our work for everything. Perfect. And if you're confused on how I simplified, it's just knowing your multiplication facts, to be honest. There you go.